evening, ladies and gentlemen. Buenas tardes. It is such an honor and privilege to be here for the International Language Academy of Canada Speakers Forum, featuring former Prime Minister of Canada, John Turner, and two very special guests, one of them that flew all the way from the Philippines to be here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Universe 2015, Pia Wurtzbach.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here in Canada. It's my first time here, first time in Toronto. I wish I could stay longer because I've heard a lot of great things and I really want to see a lot of places, but I'm very limited with time. So maybe when I come back, and hopefully that's very soon. So I've been asked to talk about an issue that I think is very relevant and very rampant today, and I think it affects all of us. Let me talk about it based on experience, because the reason why I'm very passionate about this anyway is because it also happened to me. Like you, like all of us, we've all experienced bullying in one way or another. I've been bullied in school. Believe it or not. I've been bullied at work because I worked in England before and as a Filipina. And when I joined public life in the Philippines, or when I was doing show business in the Philippines, when I was very young, I was 11, 12 years old, I was also bullied or discriminated. And even when I joined Miss Philippines, when I joined the pageant scene, there was also a lot of bullying involved with that, especially cyberbullying. So I have been called names, the meanest of names, designations like Lord Voldemort, a name we can't even mention today. And even until now, I'm at the receiving end of bullying. At this time, at the much larger scale, because I competed for Miss Universe. And if you look at my Instagram, you'll see what I mean. I get it by the thousands. Early in my career as a public service, as a public figure, I wondered, is this a fact of life that I have to accept? As a public figure, do I have to concede to bullying? And my answer is a big fat no. No, never. I'm speaking against it until now. If there's a kid who is still bullied at school, if there's a young girl who is called names, if there's a woman who can't take public transportation because there are bullies around her, any kind of bullying, then I will speak up about it and I will not stop. Because that's how I think, that's how we raise awareness about it. Thanks. In the Philippines, we have a law against bullying. But more than a law, what we need here and the rest of the world is a change of values. And I think, well, here in Canada, we have that. To accept our differences and to accept that that is a fact of life. And the more that we become accepting, the more that we become tolerant, and that the more that we care. And speaking of care, I've realized that in order to fight this, we need a strong support system. Our friends, our families should be there for us. To every victim of bullying, do not feel alone. Avoid the trap of isolation and loneliness. You have family, you have your friends, and we're here for you. I've experienced this myself, so, and I wrote this. So, you're not alone, and I know it's kind of hard to believe to see me standing here with this sash on, all glammed up, and really? You went through all that? You went through bullying? Yeah, I did. And I'm speaking up about it because if you do, you'll never know what happens. Look at me, I became Miss Universe. So, well, Let me end this by leaving a quote. If you're, and I love this quote, I learned this, I think during the first few days of my training when I was training for Miss Philippines. And I'll never forget it. I wrote it down so I get it perfectly right. Okay. If your back is bent, only then someone will climb on it. So stand straight and no one will ever climb on it. Thank you.
I know we have a couple of minutes for some questions for Miss Universe. Please put up your hand if you'd like to be asked, and Pia will call upon you. Thank you. Any questions for Miss Universe? Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Hi.
What was your reaction to the bullying online with Instagram and Snapchat and everything? Like, it was bombarded at you, and you obviously have a lot of strong feelings about bullying.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a reaction towards that bullying?
No, because the only comments that matter to me are from the people who matter. These people, I don't know who they are. It's so easy to create a username, to hide anonymously under a username. It's so easy to create an account and say whatever is out there. But I bet you, if I run into this person in real life, they wouldn't be able to say this in front of me. I think it's being a coward by doing this online. So because I'm aware of that, it doesn't affect me at all. And that's what I want other people to know as well. I know it's hard, especially if you're competing in something you're very passionate about. You read something, it affects you. We're only human. There were moments, there were times where it got a little bit too much, and I felt affected. I felt that it was it went too far sometimes. But I can't control what they say. But what I can control is how I feel. So, am I affected by it? No. Not anymore. Anybody else? I'm sorry, I tend to come off really like, no, we fight this, let's go. Like, okay, yes.
First of all, welcome to Canada, but you've got to come when the weather's better.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, we went to the CN Tower just a while ago, and I wanted to walk around the ledge outside, but then and I was so ready. But then it's closed because of the weather, I guess. So maybe I'll come back next time.
I think because you're so strong, can you tell us a little bit about your family and how you developed such a great personality and strength?
My family, my parents separated when I was 9 years old. I would say that we had a stable family income when my dad was still around, but as soon as he left, it just was, he basically left us with nothing. And then I was left with my sister and my mom in the Philippines, and we just had to start from scratch. And to hear this now, I don't know if you guys can really imagine it, but you know what the Philippines is like. And then being there without your dad, without the one who's supposed to be supporting you, it's hard. It was tough. So luckily, I started working when I was 11 years old as a model, and then 12 as an actress. And then money started coming in, and that's how I was able to help my mom and my sister through my acting and my modeling. So I was actually the breadwinner of my family. I was never forced into it. It was something that I enjoyed doing. On the weekdays, I went to school, and then on the weekends, I would go to work. And in the Philippines or in Asia, it's not uncommon for the kids to help their parents. So maybe hearing this now here with you guys, maybe it sounds like it sounds like such an extraordinary story, but there are a lot of girls or people like me who at a very young age had to step up and help. So I think that's the reason why I'm also very strong, is because of my experiences, that we went from being okay to almost nothing, and I had to, put up work so that I could pay for my own education, for my sister's education, for the schooling, for the anything, for the bills, for the rent, everything. So that matured me a lot. That helped.
All right, one last question for the gentleman.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for your speech. I have an easy question though.
Yeah.
Can you share some of your beauty secret with us here?
Beauty secrets?
Good, a guy.
Okay. Well, well,
Eat a lot.
you have to. Well, I don't know how I'm gonna answer this. Beauty pageant style, or do you want like the real thing? The real answer, it has to be holistic. Okay, you have to eat properly. You have to take care of yourself. You have to be aware of what you put in your body, of how active you are with your lifestyle. Try to, guys, girls, stay away from the drugs, stay away from the cigarettes. Live a healthy, active lifestyle. Be kind to other people, and have good faith. No matter what religion you are, have good faith in yourself, in other people, good intentions. And you know that kind of glow when you're in love? You don't have to be literally in love with somebody, but when you're just happy, when you're just contented, in love with, it's so cheesy, but in love with life, like just have fun. Just enjoy it. That's the beauty secret right there. Hi.
Thank you very much for coming here and giving us some peace of mind. And also, how do you think dreaming big helped you be where you are today?
Well, ever since I was young, I always thought that, I always believed that I had a purpose and I just needed to find it. Like I had a voice in my head, but I don't know, I couldn't find the right outlet for it. And the best motivation for me was failure, because I had a lot of failed attempts at everything before I made it here, It wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy for my family, wasn't easy for my acting career. 3 attempts at Miss Philippines just so I could compete in Miss Universe and, win Miss Universe for the Filipino community as well. It took us 42 years to finally win Miss Universe. I mean, what really motivated me was all the things that I had to go through, all the bullying, all the rejection, everything that was thrown at me. I used that, and that was the motivation for me to make it here. Thanks. Yes.
I have a niece who really looks up to you. And, for all the young girls out there who would like to be a beauty queen someday, what would be your advice to them?
Who would like to be a beauty queen someday? It's not really the crown or the title that makes you a beauty queen, I think. Because, okay, you prepare so much and you train, and then it's your dream, and you watch them on TV, and then you're there, you're a contestant, and then it all ends on the pageant night. But what about after that? After one night, it's over? You suddenly, because you're not the one wearing the crown, you're not the queen anymore? No. Everybody's a queen. You wear your invisible crown. My advice to all the young girls that look up to beauty queens, that's good. Because I used to look up to beauty queens too. Just so happened that I became one myself also. But my advice would be focus on your strengths and be aware of your weaknesses as well. And then from there, you work from there, and then you you start to realize what you really want to do. You focus on that, and don't ever give up. Don't lose your values too while you're at it. So, well, there's really a lot of a lot of advice I can give to young girls. But then, if I could summarize it to 3 things, okay. Number 1, listen to your parents or your guardians. They know best. Even if sometimes it feels like tough love and then they don't allow you a lot of things and they're very strict, they know best because they've been there. Number 2, don't take your education for granted. And then number 3, be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Big applause for the beautiful, the profound Pia Wurtzbach from the Philippines.